Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Cardone.
Well, I thought I was supposed to do that. See, this is Grant Cardone I'm interviewing, a guy that I have known longer than any other human being on planet Earth. Grant, glad to be in your office today,
Yeah,
buddy.
dude, good to have you here, man. Always, like being with you and like looking at you because you look so good. And you've aged well.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
And
that's good to know. All the shit I've been through, I'm surprised I'm still alive.
Welcome to Grant Cardone's YouTube channel, sponsored by 10X Studios and GCTV.com. Real estate, finance, business, relationships, money, and more. We give $1,000 away, so make sure you subscribe now.
I am really excited. I have been doing quite a bit of social media. For about 10 years, I went into hiding because some of the business I was doing, I could not be very vocal.
Coming out of the closet?
Dude, I'm totally coming out of the closet now.
Anderson Cooper came out like 3 times.
Yeah, I won't be coming out that way, but I will be coming out.
Good. I'll help you too, man.
Look,
For all my audience out there, let me just say this. For all my audience out there, make sure you follow my brother. He's an awesome dude. I've known him for a long time, and I've been through all kinds of hell with him. So many fights. Many hugs.
Let's talk about the
many
fights.
Disappointments.
What's the first fight you remember having with me, and share it in great detail as to what happened?
Dude, I remember this one fight that you and I had. We were messed up at this time. I think we're 16, 17. We were in that old house we were renting. I think there was Tommy. We were having a crawfish boil. We were, really both messed up by now.
You were messed up.
I was very messed up. I'll speak for myself.
Yeah, there you go.
So I had a daily drug problem at the time. We were drinking all the time. It was like too much free time on our hands.
You think 16?
I think 17, probably closer to 17 or 18.
We were on 10th Street?
I don't think I was on 10th Street. I think we were.
No, we had been on 20th Street across from the school.
Yeah, but I think we had moved out.
Okay.
I think we were
Mom kicked us out.
Yeah.
That's an important piece.
Yeah, we were living. I think you were living in one place. I was living in one place. We had a crawfish boil, and it was like, and we were both wrecked. I mean, I was wrecked. I know I was wrecked, but you must have been wrecked too because I won the fight. And I remember feeling so bad about it.
This would be the only fight
I felt
you'd win.
so terrible about hitting you.
Did you?
Oh my God, it was I've thought about it 1,000 times since then. I'm like hitting my best friend in the face. And I don't even know.
Was the fight over a girl or drugs?
No, I don't even know what we're fighting about. I have no clue what we're fighting about, except that I hate myself. I have shame about my life, and I'm disgusted with me. And I look at you, and you remind me of the disgust I have in myself. And I know that you're recreationally using drugs. I'm using them all the time. So it's everything you do reminds me of what I'm doing wrong, and it was just terrible, man. I regret that day, and I just want to tell you how sorry I am.
Yeah.
We were drinking Bud Lights.
I don't even remember this fight.
Not Bud Lights.
It clearly wasn't a big punch.
It was Miller in a glass. It was the glass, the little bottles of Miller.
Yeah. I don't ever remember drinking little bottles of anything, even in the hotels.
Okay.
I'd go for the big bottle. Let's talk about when we were on 20th Street, though. I remember a couple of fights. Grant and I used to play games, like we have always played games, right? Like from day one. Like we didn't have our parents weren't like having to take care of us all the time because Grant and I just basically had our buddy. We shared the same imaginary friend. Remember Frankie?
What?
Like
how old?
6, 7 years old.
This is before Dad. This is 10th Street.
This is before Dad died.
Yeah.
So
Frankie.
we're talking about a level of connection between two people that was very different from anything I've ever heard other people talk about, even other fraternal twins. Our connection has been really, and I think that's what doing some of the social media stuff in the last 6 months, the audience seems really fascinated with, hey, how could two guys that grew up under the same roof with a lot of trauma? I think losing you say Dad died when we were 10. I think Dad died when I was, 9. But you could tell our lives really.
The next month we were 10.
Yeah, whatever. But our lives really changed, right?
Yeah.
It took a very, very different direction. which is, I'd like to get into that a little bit. And it's really around the fighting, because I think if our father would have been there, like we're talking about fighting where people go to the hospital. Like I think your spleen got busted once.
Dude, you busted my mouth. I have a scar on my mouth.
You got a little tattoo I left with you.
Yeah,
right?
I still have this thing that you did to me when I was 6 years old with a gun. You hit me on the head. Let's see what else I have. I have a busted spleen. You sent me to the hospital.
That was a serious punch, actually.
Dude, it was.
I couldn't have
brutal.
been 13.
I threw you that night. I threw you, and you had that gash in your leg.
Still got it, dude.
It was so bad, bro, because we lost our dad, and I think we were both so angry. There was so much internal anger about the loss of a dad, and then the loss of a dream house that we had. That Dad wanted. He bought that house on the lake,
Prien Lake,
2.5 years before he passed. Never got to enjoy it. We all knew that was his dream. And then when Mom sold it, I think that made me angry. I know I was angry about it. Losing Dad, I was angry. The uncles didn't come help us. That made me angry. My dad never came back. That made me angry. Mom selling the house and moving to this across the street from the prison.
School.
They call high school.
Yeah.
That made me, or junior high school made me angry. I was bullied. Dude, I was beat up, bullied during junior high school. I don't know if they did that to you, but they did it to me. So anyway,
I pointed everybody in your direction.
I believe that. So,
well, I was less physically able. You remember I was going through, I think at 7, I had major surgery.
Yeah.
And that changed everything, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, 7. Tony Minaldi.
Yeah.
Who
Tony and his dad
was my mentor,
Yeah.
a baseball mentor, coach. And Dad was gone then. He took the time to, that was a lot of
No,
commitment.
Dad wasn't gone yet.
Tony?
No, dude, we're only
coach?
7 or 8.
Well,
But you had your surgery when you were 6.
yeah.
Your left arm got
that's
surgery,
right.
which was a big trauma for both of
Well,
us.
that
not
started
just you,
showing a little difference between us,
because
right?
you had this impeding growth spurt. I had a growth spurt. I had spurts, and yours got stopped.
Yeah.
Because of that surgery.
Yeah.
And I felt so much shame for that, dude.
Did you really?
Oh,
Well, because you couldn't help me, or?
I kept growing, and you weren't.
Right.
And I was getting faster and stronger, and you had that 3 months of being down, and I felt shame about any kind of acceleration I was having. So literally, later in life, I would actually go back to this and be like, I can't get ahead. I can't get ahead, man. It's not fair. We're twins. We're identical twins, born.
Oh, so you felt bad about your sports because you were a catcher, a really good catcher, actually.
I was decent, you know?
I was having to sit I literally made a decision. I'm just going to go sit in the bleachers and hang out with the girls. That's when I started liking girls. Because I'm like, I'm never going to be able to play baseball. I had to switch from being left-handed to right-handed.
Yeah.
And it was just too much. I mean, I had a guy cut me down on third base my first game, just when I was starting to learn how to throw.
With your right hand.
Oh, the guy just cuts me down. I follow my left arm. I'm like, I'm done. Mm-hmm. This is just too much. Football, I touched football one time. Some guy crocked me. I must have been 7 years old. I'm like, I have no interest in getting hit like this.
Right.
But it's interesting that you had some shame about, so you felt guilty.
No, I didn't have some shame. I had
monster.
Unmanageable amounts of shame about leaving this individual that I grew up with, shared the womb with, shared nutrients, minerals with for 9 months, a tight space with, and then you're my best friend. Dude. You're the guy I looked at in the what's it called, the cradle. We had those with that box that they put us in. I looked at you every day, every single day, 24 hours a day for the first 2 or 3 years. We're sitting in that thing. Looking at you,
we were
sharing
having a
toys.
Blast. We were having a blast.
And we were having a blast, sucking each other's toes.
Yeah.
What do babies do with each other, So, and then 6 years, at 6 years old, we're still best buddies. I remember that first day we went to school in the first grade. Do you remember this? I don't know what had happened to you already, because you were already like a threat to the environment. But this kid,
a threat to the environment.
This kid, this is the first day of school. I'm terrified going to school. I don't want to leave. I'm a mama's boy. I want to go back home. I'm crying. I'm terrified to go meet all these new people. I do not want to be at school. And this kid is waving his little thing over his head.
Oh, yes.
And Gary says, it had to be the first or second day, maybe the third day of school. And Gary's like, if you do that one more time, I'm going to knock your teeth out. Okay? Guy does it one more time. Gary walks up, bam! True story, knocks his teeth out. 30 minutes later, I'm getting called to the principal. This is 1963. Principal takes out a paddle, had a thing on it, had little holes in it so he could whip it faster. It's about this thick. Paddle's this long. It's got a handle on it. It's got something written on it. I don't remember what was written on it, but both sides had an inscription.
It was a shame.
Like, this hurts me more than it hurts you.
And I'm going to crush your butt right now.
Yeah, and then bang, this guy's hitting me. He's like, I'm thinking to myself, I didn't do shit. I didn't say the word shit, but I'm thinking to myself, I didn't do anything, but I cannot narc
Betray
on
me.
you, dude.
You can't
I cannot.
narc on. Yeah.
Because my
that
man,
was a rule.
In my family,
that was a rule.
You never, ever,
You don't
ever.
even narc on the enemy. Like, you don't narc on anybody. That was one of the golden rules.
So I took it, and, you never fessed up to it. They still to this day, they don't know that you busted that guy up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have quite a few stories that sound very similar to this, where you're the protagonist and I took all the heat. So that one course room that I got thrown out of for life, dude, seriously, okay? I mean, I show up on a Monday morning and we switch rooms on Friday.
Now, how old are we though?
We're in serious trouble now. 17, dude. We're in high school, junior or senior. 2 years prior, we could have got elected to anything.
We were very popular the first year.
And then the drugs sunk in around 14, and then it was freaking, you couldn't have elected us to dog catcher, man.
No, it was terrible.
We wouldn't
have been elected for poop catcher of the dog catcher.
Yeah, it really was.
It's terrible, dude.
It was, and I felt alienated from everyone. I just didn't understand anything. I really didn't understand what the hell was going on. I look at my children, I'm like, my God, man, I really want to get them out of the system, because for me it was traumatic.
It was terrible, man. Bullying.
What was it like?
I was beat up all the time.
School?
Would you want to finish the story about, like, if you're going to interview me, man, you got to stay on the story, dude.
Well, you just have so much to cover, It boggles my mind.
No, it's not that boggling.
Go ahead, let's get back to it.
So, because it's fair what happened. So it was a Friday afternoon. He had a broken hand.
Yep. Thumb.
It was wrapped, or thumb, okay? And I said, bro, why don't we switch classes? Let's switch classes.
Because we were 2 p.m. Friday.
We're identical twins. Like, you cannot tell us the difference. At 17 years old, bro, I'm telling you, my mom, half the time she would call me Gary and him Grant.
For sure.
At least half the time.
Well, people would look at the arm, because the arm had a deformity.
Yeah, but even then, but from the back.
Yeah. No,
don't
it's
mess up
hard.
the story, man.
It's still hard. I see pictures around here. I'm like,
yeah, is that me or you? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, so I convinced him that we're going to switch class. Now, every day we're using now. I don't know if you're using every day, but I know I am.
I'm smoking a little weed almost
every morning, I'm not
right
proud,
before class.
I'm not proud of that, but that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And that would go on for 10 years for me. So I convinced him to switch class. You're in Aiken's class. The Coach Aikens.
No, I was in a home ec class, dude, a kill class.
No, I put you in the home ex class. I was in a home ex class.
I went to the driver's ed.
No, you're right. You're right.
Dude,
he was in the driver's ed class with Aikens.
I went to your driver's ed class.
Yeah, I was in the home ed. I was in the home ed.
Having my hand, and you went into my home ed class.
Yes,
and we said,
a lady was teaching the class.
A dinosaur lady. And the rule was, hey, don't do anything. Like, let's just see if we can get away with it, okay? Like, you don't need to be like, don't blow the bloody room up. This is one of the reasons I had to leave.
You didn't do a lot of that warning, okay? Like that's not true.
No, we made a deal.
We just wanted to go in there and see if we could trick the teachers and get away with the teachers and all the kids in the room. So he goes in, he comes out of the class, no problem, no issues, okay? I come out of the home ec class, no problem, no issues. Monday morning, okay, I don't tell him anything. He
tells me nothing. He tells me there's been no freaking altercation at the home ec meeting.
Monday, he goes back into the room and she says,
as normal, being the anarchist that I am, I'm got to go in the last guy through the door. I'm walking through the door. A lady says, "Excuse me." I said, "Yeah, what?" We've already discussed this on Friday. You are no longer in this room.
Yeah.
You have been moved into a history class, and we're sending you the worst, most difficult discipline teacher, a guy named Bork.
Yeah, I remember Bork.
And it's very interesting. They tried to penalize me. And what ended up happening, I was making D's in home ec. I went to this history class at 8 a.m. I made straight A's with this guy.
Yeah.
This guy was like, if you're 1/10 of a second late, you can leave right now.
Dude.
He was awesome teacher for me.
Yeah.
Best teacher I had, except for that Gardner lady who actually.
I love Miss Gardner,
See,
man.
I remember the names because she said, hey, these two
She
boys.
was a typing teacher.
C average on a good day. We just didn't try. And she said, hey, these two guys, they're going to make it out of this whole school. Watch.
I wonder where she's at today.
Dude, totally.
She was hot.
She was
She was
hot.
hot. If you're watching this, Miss Gardner,
diggity
I always
dog.
had a crush on you.
Me too. We were actually thinking about, well, won't go there. So what was school like for you, man?
It was terrible. School was terrible. Junior high was terrible. I was bullied. High school was, there was a moment where I was like, oh, this is going to be really cool. And then the next year, it was terrible. I got beat up. I was beat up. You know, Pete Nash, the Reeves boys, Michael Armentar, all these guys beat me up. Like I was.
Was that guy that I drove over?
Huh? I don't know. Yeah, might have been. No.
Those karate
That guy
guys.
Chuck.
Those karate guys that were trying to jack with us.
Dude, they were
when we
always
were
beating me up.
17.
I was beat up every weekend. Like literally, I was in a fight at least once a week. Without exaggeration, I'm telling you. Like I was dating their girlfriends, the football team's girlfriend. There was Billy
That might have
Greason,
been an
Jay
issue.
Bice. I remember all these names right
sure,
now,
man.
dude.
Uh-huh.
And Mike Armentar jumped in my car after a baseball game and beat me to death because I was dating Jan Romero. Not dating her, but I was. He was dating her and I was playing with her. Dude, it was like, it was terrible. High school was awful for me.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Same here. It was, I always felt like an alien. I'm not sure it's really ever changed. Has it changed? College, did that change at all? Or was it
just deteriorated from there?
Did it?
I don't remember.
What did you study? Accounting?
Accounting. I got a degree in accounting. Well, you and I lived in the same apartment.
Yeah, I know.
Near.
It was a softball question for the audience.
Oh, yeah. I did accounting.
Yeah.
Okay. And you did what? Marketing?
Economics and marketing.
Economics and marketing?
Yeah. So you left.
I cheated. I basically cheated on all the tests to get through and studied at the last minute and learned zero. I would attribute nothing.
Nothing. You maintain you learned nothing at school whatsoever.
I learned zero in college.
Really?
5 years. There's nothing that I look at today and said, oh, I learned that in college. Maybe the statistics course.
Yeah. See, economics for me would be that one first course, Economics 101. I still remember the teacher. So sad that we can't have schools like this. The teacher gets up on one of those big chalkboards and says, when supply exceeds demand, prices will fall. And when demand exceeds supply, prices will go up. I was like, man, I'm done. I am done. Please let me out of this room so I can go actually get into the real world. Because I was like constantly feeling like I was being held back, like a stallion behind some gates, and I just want to go run the course. Yeah. And everybody's going, no, you're not ready to get out of the gates yet. Like, can I please stretch my legs? And they were just, pushing me down the chair. It was horrible. But I think we've been always like that you don't really like that structure. Is that true for you? The structure of confinement?
No, I don't mind. I don't mind that. I don't mind it. As an adult, I don't mind it when I'm learning something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought.
So you like structure if you're learning something?
I didn't. Well, I wasn't learning anything.
Yeah, right.
And it was too slow, and basically it was a grade underneath. Like some of the, if I wouldn't have done that statistics class that I just gave some credit to, I think I would still know what I know today.
I agree.
I think I came here with some of this. I think there's some gifts that people have that they just have. They don't learn them in school. They don't learn them in life. They just have them, bro. Like, I don't know how to explain it. If there's some earlier life thing, something in the gene code, something, and why do some people get it in a family and some people don't? It's not about the mom and dad. It's nothing to do with the DNA. It's something else. Dad didn't give it to me. Dad doesn't have what I have. There are things I have that my dad had.
Well, what did you learn from him?
Work ethic. Protect your name.
That was a big one. That was a big one for him.
Oh yeah,
Monster, right?
He got half of that right. There was a half.
Well, I think this is why we fight bullshit lawsuits, like I do. Like when people smash me with a lawsuit, and I don't really care what it is. It's like, whoa! I have spent 60 years ensuring that my family didn't get a bad name.
Yeah.
And now you're coming after me for some bullshit. I have to fight it.
Yeah.
Like one of them's cost me $6 million to pay $100,000.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to fight it because it's wrong. We should stop saying, hey, I'm going to admit to guilt, pay a fine, because it's endless. They'll just keep coming. You have to.
But most people don't have the money to fight it, so they just got to tap out.
Yeah, that's right.
All the J6ers, I mean, they just tapping out.
So you talked a little bit about.
But you want to go back to Dad, like what I learned from him?
Yeah.
Okay, so I learned work ethic. I learned, people are important. I never saw him ever pass a person he didn't say hi to. Never. He loved people. And I know I have that today. I love meeting people. I love meeting the everyday person. My dad treated, what was her name, Sarah? The lady that helped us at the house?
No, her name was.
Big girl.
Yeah, big girl. I saw a picture of her just the other day. I'll think of the name. Yeah. She was basically a black nanny who taught Mother. I didn't know this. Taught Mother how to cook.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, because
my dad would drive her home. Let me ask Diane what her name was.
I'll think of it. Katie.
Katie. Yeah, Katie. And Katie raised us, basically helped raise us and cooked. And
So do you think having a little bit of a part-time nanny, because it wasn't like we were not rich. Yeah. By any stretch, but my mom had somebody there to help with things.
But when Dad was alive, we were doing well.
Yeah.
It's when Dad died that we lost our status.
We lost our income.
He lost our income.
Yeah.
And I learned that too, by the way. So, my dad treated Katie like family, dude. Like he did this with everybody. I remember going into this store, Gibson's. Gibson's was the big sporting store in Lake Charles. This is before Dick's Sporting Goods. And we'd walk into Gibson's and my dad would say, guys, we're 5 or 6 years old now.
He'd leave us in the car, man.
Yeah, he'd leave us in the car. I'm going to be 10 minutes. I'll be 10 minutes and I'm coming back. Dude, my dad would be an hour and 50 minutes and come back with 1 or 2 things, but shooting the shit with everybody. And this is back when you could leave kids in a car. It's such a different world today than we live in.
Such a different world.
I learned from my dad about money, man. Money, he really valued earning money and never wasting it, never playing with it. I don't know if you've ever heard me tell the story about the quarter.
Yeah, I think it's a great story.
The quarter story. You and I, he was, Dr. Kerr, his good friend, was at the house. It had to be a Saturday or Sunday. They were having drinks. And I think they wanted us to get out of the house, the kids to get out of the house.
So they wanted to party. They wanted to smash down a couple martinis.
Yeah, I'm making that up, right?
I think that was happening.
Yeah. And so what do you guys need?
Somebody's trying to get Annie's attention.
Annie?
Okay.
Is Annie in the room? So Dad gives us each a quarter.
Yeah.
This is 1963. Maybe 1964. John Kennedy's probably president. And gives us a quarter, dude. And you would think that me and Gary would like ballers, straight up shot callers, okay? Like, man, we got a quarter, dude. Like, I'm starting to think about what am I going to buy with this? Because this is when you could buy some shit with the quarter. I mean, you could buy gum, some lifesavers. This is before the big gummy lifesavers that they got today.
The bubble gum, the baseball gum, it cost a penny.
Giant.
They cost a penny.
It was a penny, but they were freaking like 10 times the size. That's right. And so I'm going over there, man. I'm flipping my coin, playing with my coin, and bang, my coin falls into this gutter. Big manhole. This is the old manholes they'd have like a 12-inch space between the grates where your ankle could actually fall through it. Like, these were not safe to walk on, okay? And so I could put my whole arm down there, but I can't reach the quarter. I am losing my mind.
You're gutted, dude.
I'm gutted. I'm crying. Oh my God, I lost my quarter. The one thing is I'm not going to be able to buy anything, but the second thing is I got to tell my dad I lost a quarter, bro. And like, I know this comes with a physical punishment.
Oh, you think he's going to hit you
100%.
for losing a quarter?
I know for
You
sure.
think this?
I'm going to get my ass whooped because he's going to teach me a lesson. I go home. I'm crying. What's wrong? I'm like, I lost the quarter. How'd you lose the quarter? And he's standing over me. How'd you lose? And Dr. Care's there. So now I got to be publicly humiliated. My dad didn't know any better. He thought he was teaching me something, right? And he was. Grandpa was there. Tony Neal was there.
Tony Neal.
So Tony Neal
What
was
a
a completely
naughty,
different
naughty
person.
boy.
Other end of the spectrum. He's
Yeah.
like, he either has $5,000 on him or he's broke.
Yeah.
And so my dad stands over me, probably trying to impress the other people in the room, and says, never play with money. Never play with money, man. I was like, oh my God, man. Never play with money. And I was like, okay. And this really damaged me for years with money.
Yeah.
Because-
I've heard you tell the story. I mean, it made a greater impact on you than it did on me.
Well, fuck, I'm the one that's getting the freaking hammer.
Exactly.
You're just watching. You're
Yeah.
probably like, it's showtime, bitches.
You want a piece of gum, dog? Why you getting beat?
I got nothing to eat. I have no reward. I'm getting beat up. And you're like, no wonder it doesn't bother you. You probably don't even remember it.
Well, I think we.
But I remember it.
No, I remember this story. I think we've had a different.
Can I finish my story? Can I finish my damn story, man?
Yeah. Wait, how long is it going to take?
Well, you got to have the details, man. A good story has details,
Get it.
okay? So I tell this, my dad tells me, hey, never play with money. Grandpa Tony grabs me maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes later in the kitchen and says, look, your dad said never play with money. There can be value to that. Or the other part of the lesson could be never go any place with just one quarter.
Bingo. I like that one.
I know you would, because
Yeah,
that's
I
how you
love
live,
that,
dude.
dude.
You live like that. But those two things, that story has like haunted me for 50 years trying to figure out, okay, is it save money, protect it, not play with it? Or is it accumulate so many that you can actually lose some? I've learned a lot by watching you with money too, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
because-
like what? What's the?
Just
because
your
we have a different
Totally
approach.
different,
Talk
completely.
about that, man.
You're just freer to take risks than I am. You know, I'm not, you know, I have been, you know, all my investments are in real estate that's very stable, almost zero risk over long periods of time. It's a coward's investment, you know. And so I saved a lot of money, you know. The first 20 years I was in business, I would literally put none of it at risk, because I should be way better off than I am. If I would have taken more risk,
Yeah.
I would be 10 times financially better off than I am today. But I didn't because of some of those lessons I learned.
And so, what's the difference? How do you see me? Because I don't always see me the same way as other people.
You're less connected to money as a source of security. You know, I see it as a thing of security. You are willing to risk it, I think, because of your corporate experience and how money is done on a corporate level. You know, I've never worked for a company that had, how much money did
Clearinghouse,
Clearinghouse have?
30 billion.
Yeah,
But it started with nothing. I mean,
I understand, but
Yeah.
they raised money from the capital markets. I never had access to any of that. You had access to the whole world. I didn't. You had experience traveling around the world. You moved to Corpus Christi and then to the UK. All those were expansion moves for you that I didn't have. I wasn't on a plane until I was 28 years old.
yeah.
Didn't travel till I was 30, 31 on a regular basis. And you were already all around the world, dude. So you had a lot more expansion kind of experiences that I didn't have.
Yeah,
And I
but-
think you take risks bigger. You're willing to take risks more than I am.
Well, I think I take a different, like a lot of it for me has been private equity. It hasn't been the real estate stuff, because I didn't understand the real estate stuff. You'd been looking at real estate since you were in love with real estate, probably because of Dad, because he was really loved looking at properties. And I still like looking at properties. I just don't get really. I mean, I invested with you early on. It was great return. But I went the corporate route, and I learned some other lessons. I remember, I think our sister talking about you saying, wow, I wish I had Gary's job, right? Like when we're 30 years old or something. And
Yeah.
you were just starting to really, you were in La Jolla at that time.
Yeah.
Doing building that what's a mentor coaching program up.
Yeah, I was consulting car dealers.
And then I'm in London. We're playing Xbox.
You're making some
Dude,
big bank.
Well, by the time
I was making $30,000 a year.
Yeah. No, I was making good money for the age I was. And then I was 30 when I went to London. That was awesome. Which is really where I want to so you left Louisiana when?
30.
Well, you were 30. I was 21.
28, 29, something
Mom
like that.
kicked us out of the house around 20.
Yep.
Said, hey, you can't come back here. No more 3 meals a day. She took 3 meals a day. Do you ever remember eating at McDonald's?
I never remember being hungry ever.
Exactly. She really did a great job.
Yeah.
We're so lucky we did not end up in prison.
Dude, 100%.
Okay.
I should be dead 3 times. You know that when I went to treatment, 3 guys that I was hanging with were killed while I was there. By the time I come out of the treatment center.
Wow.
Like if I wouldn't have gone to treatment, I could have been
I believe that.
one of those 3 guys.
Yeah.
And I know you were worried about me at that time.
Well, yeah.
I was 20, 25.
Yeah, so
You were in Brownsville.
I'm still
Carpus.
Corpus. Yeah, I remember getting on a plane with a gun to go handle those guys that pistol whip you. But
Yeah.
do you see a connection between success and people leaving their home, leaving their neighborhoods, leaving the little safety? I'm beginning to build this thesis that it's easier for people to become really big and successful if they leave.
Uh-huh.
They're like, for me, I had to get out of Lake Charles. If I would have stayed in Lake Charles, I would be a really small human being. And I'm not saying that people that stayed in Lake, I needed to get out and see the world. I had never seen anything. And I study a lot of history. A lot of people who have been really, really important on this planet, they left.
Yeah.
They traveled. They got out of their comfort zone. When did you start to realize, whoa, getting out of your comfort zone, getting out of a small community, everybody knew us. We couldn't go anywhere. The Cardone boys.
Mm-hmm. Those Cardone boys.
When was the first time
troublemakers.
you made the move where you were like, whoa, I got a lot more capacity than I've ever understood?
Every single move I made. First, the treatment center. Moving to Houston. I moved to Houston from Lake Charles just because you were there. That was not really a move to me.
Oh, really?
It was not a move. It was a comfort move. I went to my sisters. I got 2 sisters there. I got you there. I can hang out with you. It was wrong, okay? The move to San Diego helped me a bunch. The move from San Diego to LA.
You didn't have any kind of...
Every time I've gone someplace where I didn't know anybody, I got better. Every single time. When we moved from LA to Miami, we exploded here. Like we went from making $3 million a year to making, this year, this company will do 50x that. Because of the move. I had to move. I had to go where I didn't know anyone. It helped my marriage when we moved because now me and Elena are lost together. Now we have to help each other more. Like
you have a common enemy, common challenge,
I got
common
the whole
adventure.
environment, not me and her. So every single move has helped me. And I 100% agree. The other thing I would say is this, and you've asked me this before. Do you think me and you would be where we are if Daddy was still alive? I do not think. I think you guys can clip this piece, by the way. You guys are looking for the little clips to use for Instagram. This man says, I believe that if Daddy was alive, I would not have been who I am today. I think that forged me. I don't know what you were learning when I lost him, but man, I learned so much about money between 10 and 13 years old. It was like mind-boggling. Without anybody teaching me one class on money, I learned about money. Mama clipping coupons. The income is stopped. She sold the house. A house is not an asset. This is garbage liabilities. She had to dump it. She had to move to this other place. Now we're fixed in that joint. She never made any money on that house. The income stopped. She has to save. Everybody's going to rip her off. The plumber, the car dealer, the roofer, everybody that comes to the house, she's freaking concerned. Man, money became so important. And it was tied to my mom's happiness and security because she couldn't be happy because everybody was a threat to her. Everybody's coming to rip off the widow. That's all I heard for probably 3 to 5 years.
It's very
And that was her reality. Is that real to you?
No, I did not have that. It's really amazing to have 2 people in the same environment and you walk away with a very different I never got all caught up in that. The money thing never was a deal. I looked around and thought, hey, I like you. I like mom. The older we got, I like mom less. I just didn't really think about that struggle. It didn't scare me. I was wake up, we go to school, we have fun, we're just doing the deal.
Wow.
I got the fear when, hey, I need to leave this college. I have no clue what I'm supposed to do. I mean, I was so utterly lost. Like, it wasn't even about money. It was more about, hey, what am I going to do the rest of my life?
You're fast forwarding now 10 or 11 years.
I'm 19, 20 now. I'm starting to I'm getting out of college and I'm like, I am so ill prepared for this.
Yeah.
Like, what the F, right?
So when did you get out of college?
Same time you did. 80, 81.
Yeah, I got out at 83.
My first job was in really?
Yeah.
I think I went to Corpus in 81, man, 82.
Yeah.
Well, right out of college.
Took me 5 years to get out.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
Wow, we have some memory lapses here, bro.
Well, but I got an accounting degree. You got a bullshit marketing degree.
The moment you knew that you had more capacity, because I'm trying to get to something, I think everyone underestimates their ability. Almost everyone underestimates their ability to do something. When did you first get the glimmer that it couldn't have been when you were 12? When did you get a glimmer that, oh, wow, I have a lot more? The way I define it is it's like God or whatever gave me the gift to be like a F-35 fighter jet, weapons, plenty of fuel, but I don't know how to fly the bloody thing. I don't really know how to release the weapons. I'm massively wasteful on fuel. Like, it's too much of a machine. I'm not skilled enough to fly it. When did you figure that out? When you're like, whoa, I got a lot here. I got to be more responsible for what I have.
I had to clean up first. Nothing good happened for me until I cleaned up. Once I cleaned up from the drugs at 25, went to the treatment center. I know you came to see me. And, I cleaned up. I came home, man. I was like, okay, I had so much shame when I came home. By this time, you're already in Corpus Christi working. We've separated. We have completely different lives now.
Totally.
And so I went to Minnesota for 30 days or 28 days or whatever, came back. I'm so vulnerable and so shame-ridden.
The onion has been peeled.
Dude, I'm like completely exposed to the world. Don't have my drugs to cover me up anymore. I got to come back and admit to everybody I'm a dumbass, a drug addict. I got to make amends to a lot of people. I wasn't thinking about being an F-35. I was barely a fucking paper airplane.
But the question is, when
I'm just saying,
you,
no, you're asking me, so I'm going back and saying, well, when did that happen? Well, it probably took me a good year of getting
stabilized,
sobriety and stabilized, not using drugs to like, okay, I can start to trust myself. Then I started paying people back for the damage I caused, or at least making an effort to. And then I started being effective as a salesman. It's the only job I could get. I didn't go into car sales because I wanted to. I went into car sales because that's the only people that would hire me.
Right.
And then I started getting good at that. And I started saying, man, I remember I went from making $2,500 a month to $3,500 a month. The most important money I have ever made in my life was that $1,000. It is not the hundreds of millions or whatever I've made, over the internet. It was that first $1,000 said, oh, wow, I have control. It's
up to you.
If I can get better, if I can just get better, if I can make a commitment, stay clean and get a little better every day. And then I ended up reaching the top 1% in the auto industry in a job I hated, didn't like, didn't want, didn't choose. And I just took it. And I was like, oh, wow, man, I can do anything I actually commit to. So that's probably somewhere in that 28-year range. I'm like, then I'll lose my job again. So that sets me back.
Why'd you lose that job?
I got fired from that job because I told Terry Collins that the guy that he had running the place was stealing from. He's like, Grant, mind your own business. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I walked over, packed up my shit and left. So I don't know whether he fired me or I quit. And then I went to work for Tom Stuker.
Right.
Charlie Dubois, who's dying right now. I don't know if you know
Didn't know that.
Hey, do we have the Charlie Whitman clip, Annie? Because I want to show that to Gary.
Yeah.
So
Charlie Dubois
he can't even talk.
was a priest,
Yeah.
male priest,
Yeah.
that would come over when we were teenagers.
Charlie helped me get
He was a
sober.
Catholic priest. He actually sent Grant to Minnesota. And
He flew with me there to get me in treatment for drug addiction.
the funny thing is, he and I and you used to hang out at Mom's house and drink.
100. He
17,
was an
18 years
alcoholic.
old. He was a total alcoholic priest. Good guy. Great guy.
Great guy.
That's so many memories.
Well,
man.
you can be a priest and still be an alcoholic. You know, I mean, you can be a good person and still have an alcohol problem.
Sure.
I didn't have an alcohol problem. I had a drug problem.
Yeah.
And when I drank alcohol, then the drugs would come in. So from 25 until 50, I said, no alcohol.
Right.
Like just leave all that alone. But it was the drugs I was worried about. So when I cleaned up from that, then when I lost that job, Gary, when I went to work for Tom Stuker, Charlie Dubois is the one that told me to go do that. I went to
Interesting.
Charlie.
Interesting.
He was a mentor for me. He put it on a whiteboard and said, hey, which one of these are you most scared of? This was his great formula. Go being a manager at in Baton Rouge for a Toyota dealership, because I couldn't get that job, or going to work for this company in Chicago. And I said, the one I'm most scared of is Chicago, because I got to travel. I don't know anybody. I've never been into snow country. I'd never been on a plane. I think I'd been on one plane.
See, people really, everybody thinks, somebody said last night we were doing something together, that we were both wealthy when we showed up. It's like, where did
Yeah,
that
on Twitter Spaces, the guy said, hey, you guys grew up wealthy.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, we stole 14-foot aluminum skiffs for entertainment on the weekend.
Yeah.
And by the way,
And
we would
lost one
only
of them.
we couldn't afford the gas to put
That's
in
right.
the motor. So not only would we steal it from the neighbor, again, this is back in the 70s and 80s, nobody locked anything up. But if you got caught, you were going to go to jail, unlike today. But we stole those skiffs, sank one of them, abandoned the other one, but we had a good time.
Dude, we had a blast.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
That was a blast.
Surprised
We would
somebody-
drive down the bayou, okay? We would drive down the bayou, you and Punky, me and, who was the other dude with us? Ken, piece of shit, Ken.
Don't remember him.
Piece of shit. Lying,
So what?
coward bastard.
What did we
Ken,
do?
if you're watching this, you were a liar, bastard, coward then, and you probably still are today.
And Punky,
Ken
you were-
Lejeune,
and
that's his goddamn name.
Ken Lejeune.
And Punky Lejeune. They were
Ken-
cousins.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. So Punky's going to probably see this.
Oh, Punky will definitely see
Okay.
this.
So anyway, we're driving these aluminum
You know,
boats.
Punky, he showed up at the door of the house one day when we were living on 20th Street, and Mom went to the door. Mike, who was, we called Punky, said, hey, Miss Cardone, where's the kids at? The boys.
The boys.
And my mother looked at him
Yeah,
through the
true
screen and
story.
said, Mike, my children, you're no longer allowed to come here. My boys are a bad influence.
Yeah, your boy,
This was
you
my
should
mother.
not be hanging
My
around.
mother did not
your-
bitch about other people. She's like, hey, clean up your own shit.
Yeah.
And then we can blame some other people.
Yeah.
She did blame some other people, but
Yeah.
what did you learn from her, Grant?
Can I go back and finish my aluminum boat story, bro?
No, because it's not the
No,
aluminum
man.
boat.
Goddamn, you
We
got to
have
learn how to
1,000
do these
stories like
interviews,
this.
man. No, yeah, but people like these stories. You guys like the aluminum boat story? Y'all want me to finish the aluminum
All
boat
right,
story?
go ahead. Go get
Or
the
maybe I
aluminum.
did finish the story.
Uh-huh.
I think I did finish it,
I
actually.
mean, we could talk about the train that we tapped into to steal all that beer that day. I
Dude,
mean,
that was
there's
cool,
so
too.
many things.
Dude,
I mean,
how about
running
when
around
we
with
were-
freaking shotguns and 22s, dude.
10, 12 years old, dude. We're rolling with freaking loaded weapons every day. 10 and 12 years old, out in the woods, shooting
Oh, for
everything
sure.
we can shoot.
For sure. I mean,
And
we
then-
used to have pellet gun fights, dude. No glasses.
Oh, no.
Like we could be dart guns.
Oh,
I did
yeah,
dart guns with
100%,
little
man.
darties. I mean, really, it was.
Shooting 22 caliber rifles over each other's head. You could hear them zip. Zing. Crazy.
On top of trains, man. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like in
On
the
top
movies.
of trains sitting on the train tracks. We would do that
Hilarious.
on the weekend. Anyway, you know why I did all that? Because we were bored, bro. I tell my kids, man, I'm like, boredom is the biggest threat in your environment. I made my biggest mistakes in my life have been born out of boredom.
I am dangerous when I'm bored.
Yeah,
Like I'm
I agree.
dangerous to society, actually.
100%.
When I'm bored, this was the point I was trying to get to, is that I think I have a lot of like energy.
Yeah.
And I think like I know people
I
that
agree.
just have
Yeah.
like nuclear furnace.
Yeah.
And if I'm bored, it has like it's going to
Yeah.
squeak out somewhere. I need to have channels that I can pipe that into.
Yeah.
I love the business I was in
Yeah.
because it was so consuming trading commodities for me was like, with a startup of 8 guys that were smarter than me. For me, that was like I had no opportunity to get, I didn't date chicks. I wasn't doing any of that, dude.
Yeah.
I was full on in a game that was so intense. It was like showing up to the Super Bowl every day at halftime, knowing, okay, we're behind. People are watching. What are you going to do today? And I like that kind of pressure. It keeps,
I did an interview with Dana White once, and he said, "Look, you either have the beast or you don't. You ought to give these guys the clip from that." Okay, he's telling me, he's like, "Look, you either got it or you don't have it." When did you?
Do you believe that?
100. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's true for other people. I know when I said, "Oh, you have a beast." This is that F-35 fully loaded weapons. The guy, when I was selling automobiles, and I would put my head down. I was so committed to getting great at it. I was so disgusted with being a marginal human being. And I know you and I have this in common. It's shame really drove me. Not ambition to have money. It was the shame. It was the sense of like, I have to prove myself. I know I'm better than what I am. I would look in the mirror at myself those 10 years between 15 and 25 of being a drug addict and so disgusted with myself. And that became really a superpower of mine, to turn disgust into some form of something better than disgust, closer to, something to be admired. And I remember being a car salesman, and I was like, I can outsell everybody in this place, dude, if I want to. And I love that feeling that I am a beast. I'll work Saturdays, I'll do nights, I'll do and once I tapped into that and found out I could have that, it was just like, okay, now can I get in the right industry to tap into the beast?
Yeah.
First time I saw social media, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna unleash the beast on this thing.
But you fought it.
Oh yeah, fought
initially.
It. First time I saw it, I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
But 5 seconds later, I was like, this is a.
So you believe the beast exists. What can you explain it?
Success, you gotta be, I don't think you find him losing. You find him winning. So I know a lot of people say they learned everything through failure, all their failures. I'm telling you, when I can have that. Not, I almost got it. I have it. I can do it. And I can do it a second time and a third time and a fourth time. And the beast starts to, like, when I interviewed Tom Brady, insert. Well, when I did Tom Brady, man, Tom's got the beast. Why? He's got 7 rings. And I said, Tom, why do you want to win so bad? He's like, I don't want to disappoint anybody.
Right up.
I said, come on, man. He's like, I don't want to disappoint anybody.
It's shame, dude.
It's shame, dude.
It's funny. Nobody ever talks about this. For me, it's been fuel.
Uh-huh.
It's really important for me to get in an environment where I have to compete. Like, I'm going to see Michael Saylor and Salinas in Miami. People think this is easy. Dude, it's always scary.
Yeah.
It's always like,
$100%.
Who's this cat, man?
Yeah. When are you seeing Michael?
Friday.
Oh, wow. I'd love to get him on the show.
Yeah. Well, get more involved in Bitcoin, dude. And we'll bring you to the greatest real estate play in the history of mankind. Not to go there, but the audience really does want to know your position on this.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to Grant. Like, a lot of people are really interested in, hey, here's 2 cats, came from the same house, they took opposite journeys. If people didn't meet me, they would think maybe your journey's the only journey. Have you learned that, like, there's a bunch of different pathways, or is there only one way to be successful?
Oh no, if I was growing up, if I was doing everything all over again, I wouldn't do anything that I did.
Right. What would you do?
I would probably have somebody drop me off on Wall Street or Silicon Valley.
See, this is really interesting because I agree.
I wouldn't knock on doors. I wouldn't sell products. I definitely would not be in the education space the way I'm in it. I might be in the education space in a different way. Age of learning.
Yeah.
But I would learn how I would, real estate's made a lot of millionaires, but Wall Street's made the billionaires. I would definitely go for the money again. I would follow the money. I would not follow my passion. I would not do what I'm good at. I would not do my skill set. I would literally I would study, where is the future going to be? Robotics, the blockchain, AI, hiring people is going to be an issue. Either way, it's always been an issue. Healthcare is going to be massive. Retiring people and people moving into retirement. School systems are going to change. All those things will be tremendous opportunities. And then the think would be bigger.
Yeah. When you say the think would be bigger, I don't know if the audience knows what that means. I know what that means. How do you define the think being bigger? People need to do what to get their think big?
Well, you need to get around people that have stuff that you don't have, and that have done stuff you haven't done, and have dreams. You need to get around people that have inflated dreams, and dreams that your neighborhood can't think with, and your community doesn't even, like, you're like, I want to get a boat. Okay, well, you before you decide on a boat, you might want to go see somebody that's got a 300-foot yacht, because it might change the things that you're thinking about. And before you say, hey, I want to buy a Lamborghini, you should go visit a Lamborghini car dealer and talk to him about owning a Lamborghini dealership rather than owning a Lamborghini. So, because I believe that anybody can do this stuff.
I agree.
I think it starts with the think. We're limited in our thinking because we're middle class. Most of us are brought up poor middle class, and we're limited by the examples that we're raised by. Fortunately, Dad put us in that neighborhood before he died.
The nice neighborhood.
The nice neighborhood. And I was like, oh my God, that guy's
This is where the attorney
doctor.
general's son lives. This is where the doctor's kids live.
It was like, oh my
They're
God,
different.
possibilities around me.
Night and day. Different.
That's a doctor over there. He's making a bunch of money because he had a nice house. This guy over here was a doctor. Back in my day, you had to be a doctor to have money. This would change over time. Like, being a doctor today means you don't have any money. But the guy across the street was whatever he was doing. He was in the insurance business. None of these people today, when I look back, none of these people had real money.
That's right. That's right. None of them. Not
None of them.
Any of them.
But it expanded my mind to think, okay, that's possible, right? But I had to leave Lake Charles to see what that really meant. You go to Houston, then you see River Oaks and oil and gas. This is your experience. You expedited, man, because you traveled, and I was still stuck.
Yeah, the travel for me was monster. I remember being at Clearinghouse. That move was like, I was working for a big oil company, big name, Seagull Energy or something. I mean, they're real company, but I hated it there. Like, I felt like I was back at school, going, oh my God, this is going to be like that journey, 10 hours a day. I don't really respect the teachers above me. I mean, I wasn't disrespectful, but I'm like, you guys aren't making a lot of sense. And the shop was down the street, Clearinghouse, and I knew, man. You know this thing that you and I talk about?
100%.
I had this thing. This thing always goes.
Tuning fork.
We talk tuning fork. I love the way you say that. You and I have this thing about when there's a deal, when there's something I need to do, I've learned to trust this sense I get I wish they would teach this in school.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure you can't teach it in school, at least make people aware of it.
You can teach it.
Totally. I agree with that.
But you can't teach it if you're memorizing.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
you're tapping into somebody else's understanding and not your own gut. You're tuning
so
fork.
where I'm trying to get to, though, is that I see a lot of people that are extremely more talented than me, better educated, better connected, MBAs, Goldman Sachs.
Started with more money.
Just hired a guy from Ernst & Young, ex-partner. I'm looking at the guy, he's 48. I'm like,
wow.
Dude, if I had all that inside knowledge of the industry, I'd be like worth so much, because I've always come from the outside in, which has actually been my gift. It's what I do well. I want to talk about platform a little bit, because I hear a lot of people take that job that do not think about the platform, that the platform that you have created really supports you. It supports your personality, the way you like to live, everything. Mm-hmm. And I see people working at a company for a 401k and they're complaining about it. And they look at me and they go, hey, like, how are you making all this money? I'm like, well, first off, I never take a salary. Like, I'm not working for the salary. I'm working for the game, man.
Yeah.
For the stimulation. And I just think the money always follows if you're in a big enough game and the platform allows you to exercise the muscles. You know, you and I are a little weird, right? We're a little rough. We're not going to fit into, like, we're not perfectly molded robots. So like I found myself in large corporations, a bit of an oddball. Cannot imagine what I would feel like today. No, like I would be I could not work in a major corporation because of all the wokey HR stuff. The platform, how important is finding the right platform?
Yeah, that's what I would, that's what I was saying earlier. Like everything that I went into was too small. There was no runway. There was no payoff. There was no, I remember doing that test. Mom paid, I don't know, $1,800 on some bullshit. What was the test?
Where you fit in the
what you should do for a living.
Yeah, because the characteristics or
it's
personality test.
Somebody knows the name of it. Everybody takes it in college. Some well-known test. You can look it up online, but they've been cracking people for $1,800 for years. Look it up, Johnny.
Myers-Briggs.
Was it the Myers-Briggs? I thought that was a vitamin. I thought Myers-Briggs was that IV you take. Yeah, maybe it was Myers-Briggs.
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway, I took it. Oh, you should be an accountant. If that doesn't work out, be a salesman.
A career personality test.
Yeah,
that's right.
But and clearly, all right, I'm going to go either be an accountant. I did that in college, or a sales job. But it didn't. Why wouldn't the test be like, bro, where's all the money? Where's all the payoff? Where's the platform? You call it a platform. I would call it what's the follow the money?
Well, but I think I call it a platform because I don't think the money is the reason to go do the job.
Yeah, I think the money is absolutely 1,000% the reason.
See, that's where we're really different. I have never, ever done this.
I know. I never have either, but I wish I would have. If I did it all over again, dude, I would just follow the goddamn, I would follow the truck.
Then you should have just been a drug dealer, dude.
Huh?
You should have just been.
No, because there's no money.
It's the biggest return on investment.
No, there's not. There's no return on investment being a drug dealer. They all die the same way. There's no return on that deal. There's no freedom in that.
Well, we all die.
The platform, I know, but
we're all going to die.
They're going to die in jail. I don't want to die in jail.
Yeah.
So I've seen too many guys lose everything.
See, for me, it's not about dying and going to jail. It's about, hey,
you're the one brought up a drug dealer, bro. That was ridiculous.
Do I want to live like this every day and look at myself in the mirror?
No, I don't want to be a drug dealer. I don't want to sell arms. I don't want to support wars. I don't want to sell drugs. None of those things would make me happy. I wouldn't have any freedom doing it. I wouldn't be happy. The platform for me is like I do only things that like I can get behind this. I can talk about it every day. I have no shame or worry or fear about pushing it, selling it,
the negative impact of what you might be doing.
I don't care if people say I'm negative. Like, I'm going to do this deal because I love this and it all fits within the thing. Like we have 11 companies. We're adding 6 more. The 6 are going to just fit right in everything else we're doing. There's 3 or 4 that we'd like to do, but they don't really fit with everything else I'm doing. I want to move this hand and this hand responds. So, we want to support our audience. That's why I didn't raise money from Wall Street. I could have raised money from Wall Street. I had enough cash. I could have said, here's $100 million. I want $1 billion. They'd have given me $1 billion. It'd have been some paperwork. It'd have taken 30 minutes. But I want to go raise this from the public. It's better fitted when you say platform.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's better fitted for my personality. But I think that people should look at, is this thing wide enough? Is it wide enough? Because the young girl in Baltimore is like, I'm going to do hair extensions because she's good at it.
I see what you're saying now. I maybe misunderstood what you were saying. Follow the money.
Yeah.
Because I've always gone into monster size markets.
You always have, bro. You always
colossal.
Have.
Well, it's not about the money though. It's about, hey, I want to be able to make sure there's enough fish in this big water that I can like start shallow and then kind of go deeper and deeper as I get better and understand, these big markets. I mean, they're very, very complicated.
But I don't think a lot of people know that. You went to work for a company right out of college that was already fishing in a world market.
Yeah.
I went to work in a car dealership in Sulphur, Louisiana, and these guys just want to sell another 10 cars. Dude, I couldn't even see the possibility of being the car dealer. Like,
Right.
I could have ended up with 300 car
Oh, yeah,
dealerships.
for sure. For sure.
I never wanted to work for myself. I never even thought about Grant Cardone is going to be, we have 700 employees.
I
never thought about it.
I never thought about owning my own business.
Never had any inspiration or aspiration to own my own company, be the boss, to become a billion, whatever, like put $1 billion of real estate together. I never thought about planes and helicopters. Never. I didn't even think about, I'm going to be the boss. I'm going to write the check for everybody. I thought about, I just want to do well. My thinking was so small because of my upbringing, because.
Would you do it any other way though? Would you, if you could unwind everything and not have a guaranteed result where you ended up, would you unwind some of the trauma from your childhood? I think everybody has this kind of stuff. I think maybe the more trauma, the better if you can survive it. But would you take any of it back? If you could not know where you would be today,
yeah,
Dad's gonna live. He's gonna live to your, till you're married, your first marriage. Would you go? Oh yeah, let me wave that magic wand.
Yeah, man. I mean, what?
See, I wouldn't. I just like the deal's the deal, man.
No. I would definitely be born to a wealthy family with wealthy connections, go to a great school, be set up proper, have big think, understand that my kids are way better off, way ahead of me when I was. I'm watching Sabrina and Scarlett. They have no problems, no drugs, no issues. They've seen already possibility. What they do with it, I don't know what they're going to do with it. That's up to them. I don't know. But I would rather be exposed to it than not exposed to it. I think most people would, by the way. And I think people would be better off if they were not trapped in some shit school for 12 years, told to sit there and learn from a person that can't control the room, can't discipline anyone, makes 50 or 60,000 and resents the kids, the system, and the parents. And I don't know anybody bragging about it. I love my school. And I think that the first 12 years is definitely squashing people to be workers at best, not even good workers. So I would much rather have what is it called when you leave school, when you go out?
GED?
No, they go do during school. Field trips, man. Shit. Why don't you do a field trip to Wall Street? Do a field trip to Goldman Sachs. Do a field trip to my place. We see these kids coming in, man. We bring in kids 12 times, 15 times a year. They come in. Kids have never been on a plane. Parents have never been on a plane. We fly the kids in here. We put them up, put them in a boat. They've never been in a boat before. They come in our classroom. They get to pitch the classroom. They can watch Shark Tank on TV, or they can come in and pitch it themselves. It's like these kids.
Experience.
Bam.
So while we're on education,
Yeah.
one thing you're not talking about, because you and I will bash fundamental education. You and I have spent a lot of time on other education.
Yeah.
What I would call the journey
Self-improvement.
the journey of knowing self, right?
Yeah.
Like looking in the mirror and, okay, I can maybe con a few people, but I cannot con the guy in the mirror. How much time, money, energy do you think you spent post Hazelden treatment to maybe the rest of your life on self-work, knowing yourself,
I've spent
journaling,
Yeah.
building businesses and success through writing about it first?
I have spent at least 25 to 30 to 65, 40 years. I've never been thought about this in terms of 40 years, 365. I mean, tens of thousands of hours, tens of thousands. At minimum, probably closer to 20,000 hours.
When did you start to know that worked?
On self-awareness. Who am I? What do I want to do? What do I know? What do I know that I know to be true that isn't true? Big, giant field, by the way. What do I think is true today that is no longer true and relevant? Everything is improving. Imagine if I was driving a black T model Ford and saying, look at my car, right? It's an antique now, right? But or using an old phone, limited to the phones that we grew up with, right? Same thing with my thinking. My thinking has to change, So you know how much time I've spent, tens of thousands and more today. I'll spend more time this year than I spent 20 years ago on improving what I spent an hour and a half this morning listening to the book, Common Stocks and what's the name of the book? Common Stocks and Uncommon Profits, because Warren Buffett recommended it. I'll listen to that book probably 6 or 7 times.
So not all education is bad. Like you've put a tremendous amount of time and energy. I know this. You've gone away to camps, to week-long training programs, explored things that you didn't even know would work
Months
or not
at a time
work.
sometime.
Yeah, no, and we've done some of this stuff together.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was journeys, adventures.
Some of it was a waste of time and energy.
Yeah.
Some of it was worth, it's made me that is who's made me. That's probably the thing I'm most proud of in my life is my investment in my own self-awareness and in what I don't know and in being, like social media. You can't know social media. Like there's no knowing it. Like all these kids, I got it, I know it. Yeah, no, bro, let me tell you something. First of all, you already said what's wrong with you. You think you understand this? There is no understanding it. There's no knowing it. It is shifting, it's fluid, it's moving every second of every day. What worked yesterday won't work today. It is, and it's a fun thing to play with. It's like this animal that's moving and changing all the time. It's fluid.
It is fascinating, right? I mean, you can just do a survey on humanity.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you're learning. I can't imagine what the algorithms discovering.
So like the other night, I posted this thing. I shared it with you yesterday about on Twitter about, hey, or X, hey, who wants to spend more money in Ukraine? And I had a feeling that the bots were going to get it. This is fascinating, actually. The bots were going to get it. I had 4,000 surveyed questions. 4,000 people hit the survey in about 2 hours. And it was 85% said, I do not want to spend one more penny. There was 4 choices. The first choice was no more money to Ukraine, 87%. That means 3,200 of the 4,000 people said no. The other 3 broke down into like, spend whatever it takes, send U.S. soldiers as well, or just another 150 billion and that's it. That was the 4 choices. I said, I wonder if the bots are going to hit this because I know the military complex.
You thought that. You didn't post that.
No, I posted it. It's in the comments
the bots
underneath.
Would hit it?
I said, I wonder about tomorrow morning if the bots hit this.
Interesting.
Because the military complex wants to sell the Ukraine war.
Sure.
It has to be accepted by the public for us to go there. All wars have to be accepted by the public. The public has to say, let's roll. The next morning, and these guys know what our social media looks like on X. The next morning, we had 42,000 votes. 10 times the votes. That has never happened to me in any poll that I've ever done.
So
except for maybe
42,000 people respond. There were 42,000 responses, and your population of audience is how big?
1 million.
Percentage?
That means 4.2% of my entire audience would have voted on this poll.
And a normal day would be what? 0.04?
A good poll is going to do 600, 700, 800.
0.04.
A great poll is going to do
of a percent.
A great poll is going to do 3,000 or 4,000. A great poll.
This is 450% greater than norm.
This is 10x bigger. Now, the crazy thing is, it's not only that it exploded, but the votes came in completely reverse to the first 4,000 votes I got that I know are organic. The first 4,000 votes were organic. The next 38,000 votes are not, or 87% spend whatever it takes in Ukraine. Like it's totally a military bot. Yep. You know that some company's paying for this. Blackstone probably said, yeah, buy the bots because they want that war. Okay? They want that war. We grew up in a time where
I think a lot of people want that war, buddy.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people want it. I think a handful of people want it.
Industry.
I think a handful of people want it. I think most people say, no, I don't want to pay for any more wars. Take care of our schools. Take care of our own problems. Let Putin have Ukraine. That's where I stand. Hey, man, do whatever you want over there, bro. Like, let them figure it out. If I was him, by the way, I don't know how you feel about this. Somebody came into my front yard, I'd be like, hey, I'm going to defend my front yard too.
Oh, totally. Like, I actually think he's doing exactly the job he should be doing, which is protecting his population. I admire his leadership.
At least at least he does what he says he's going to do.
I have
Unlike our
not. He
president.
could have been brutal here, dude.
Huh?
He could have been brutal. He has not been brutal. Okay. This is we're just
We'll get a lot of hate for this part of this interview.
well, whatever. But
I say we pull out of Ukraine.
these
Don't
wars
spend
have not
another penny there.
worked
Ever.
since World War II.
Vietnam.
There's no upside here.
None. Zero.
None. Zero. Okay.
Except for a handful of companies that you and I will never know that make hundreds of billions of dollars. Blackstone's already committed to rebuilding Tim Aikman, not Tim Aikman. What's Aikman's first name?
Bill.
Bill Aikman.
Yeah.
He's like,
They're going to be all over.
we'll
this.
rebuild it. They're going to make
course.
hundreds of billions, if not $500 billion on this.
Yeah.
Because this is how
Well,
money.
they're not going to rebuild the Ukraine because they're not going to get it. That's not going to happen, in my opinion. It will not happen. No chance.
Oh, they're going to rebuild it. Dude. Somebody's going to rebuild it. They're going to get a deal with Putin to rebuild it.
Yeah. Well, maybe so, but it's not going to be the U.S. Ukraine will not be in NATO, dude.
Yeah.
And not a chance in hell that will ever happen.
Yeah.
It's not. Latvia has already been taken over. It's literally like across the street from Russia. Like, imagine
Miami Beach.
Yeah, imagine
and Miami.
some
That's how
nukes being
close it
put
is.
up on the Cuban border in
Right.
size, like real armaments, right? Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. It's not reasonable ask. Let's move on to something more positive. What is your greatest strength, you think? I'm going to ask you two questions. What's your greatest strength?
Yeah.
And what holds that
What is
greatest strength back most? What polarizes that greatest strength?
My
and
greatest
negates it?
strength.
Yeah.
My greatest strength is probably not quitting on something.
Perseverance.
Yeah, I don't quit. Like once I lock in, I'm going to figure out how to make it work. Like I don't try to make things happen. I was talking to Jared the other day, who's having his 40th birthday, 13 years he's been here. And I said, hey, I want to do this program. I want to do it for the next 88 days. I want it to hit this target, blah, blah, blah. I know this will work. He's like, Grant, we've never tested that. I said, I don't care. I know for sure this will work. And he's like, we'll try it. I said, no, we ain't going to try it, bro. Because the first 2 or 3 days, it's not going to work.
Totally.
And then it's going to work one day, and then you're going to be like, it's not really working. I said, I don't want to measure the metrics. I do not care about the response. I want to see it through for 88 days until I prove this to be true. And so that's with no data. I don't need a metric. I don't want anybody to tell me it's working or not working. We're going to see it through all the way.
It's amazing.
That's my
you and I,
superpower.
dude, we do the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about it. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
I don't even look at the analytics right now.
Yeah.
All this stuff, dude, I am not interested in it. I'm interested in building a community.
Yeah.
That's of like-minded people. I think we're going to be stronger together in the future than being separated.
I'll tell you what the program is, okay? It's 130. I'm so excited about this. I have 135.
He's going to pitch now. Go ahead, bro.
I have 135,000.
The relentless pitcher.
I have 135,000 leads, okay? And the 135, I'm just going to be completely transparent with the audience. I have 135,000 people that are in a funnel. We had 1,500 a day, every day. So in 90 days, that's 135,000 people. It takes 8 phone calls
to get hold of one person.
one person. So that's 1,100,000 phone calls. I want to sell those 135,000 people a $6,500 product that's worth 80 grand. Okay, because I'm going to build a new machine for next year. I want to sell that $80,000 product for $6,500. I'm basically going to give it away.
Right.
Okay, it'll produce $17 million of profit before the end of the year for me to fund this project in expansion and build this massive network of entrepreneurs that want to accelerate to $1 million of income. And I need the base for next year of enough people in that program to be successful so I can share those success stories. So that means I need to make 1 million phone calls. I got 80 people back there to make phone calls. I know how many calls that is. If I convert 2%, it happens. Which would
only
be
2%.
Only 2%
of the million phone calls.
Of the million phone calls. If I convert 2% or 2,700.
That's 20,000 people out of
2,700.
Oh,
Only
20
2,700.
Oh, wow, nothing.
So now the script is now back to re-engineer it, come into the script and say, hey, I'm calling on behalf of Grant Cardone. We created a program. He picked you. I only have 12 of these to give away. Can I tell you about it? Yeah, sure, man. It's $80,000. He's going to give it to you for $6,500. I'm not interested. No problem. Hey, he wants to send you a free download, audio download. So I know the way out of this call because I want to get off the phone call and on to the next call.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think it'll work.
Yeah.
Jared's not so confident. Neither is Todd. Neither is the team.
I bet it does work.
But
the
I
numbers are there.
believe.
So let's move to what negates that, just all in. Like, what would you say your biggest weakness is?
Most of the time I'm alone. in the decision, even though everybody says they're on the team. Yeah, that ain't.
Is that weakness
ain't
or
really-
is that actually just a painful gift?
No, it's painful. It's painful to be that. This is the like. I'm a second guess myself now. I'm going to be like they all say they're on the team and they're going to do it. That's not really
Do you
true.
think all entrepreneurs feel alone?
Well, let me just finish this thing on the team thing. The team, because the team will answer the own thing. The team thing is overrated, right? You got to understand on any given team, you got people that don't believe. And you got people that won't take the full hit. And you got people that are going to quit sooner than the other people. I was on a boat. I was learning about boats and what yachts go through and shit. And the captain told me, he's like, look, the crew will give up before the boat does. When we're going through storms, they're all trained. They're all ready to go. It's like Mike Tyson says. Mikey says, as soon as they hit you in the face, bro, you're going to change your fight plan.
Totally. All plans fail at first contact with the enemy.
Yeah, exactly. So, so is that a strength or a weakness, or it's just painful, man.
Yep.
Being. I think about Trump. Like, I know his wife's probably like, "You're an idiot." The boys have got to be like, "Come on, man, you took it too far." His daughter's got to be like, "Don't say it like that." Even his supporters, like, "I wish you wouldn't talk like that." Everybody says the same thing about Trump, and he's just like, "Oh no, this is the way to do it. I'm going to do it like this." I don't know if that's right or wrong or good or bad, but
I think it's something that
it's lonely.
Entrepreneurs and wealthy people that have been successful, or maybe they're not wealthy, they've been successful. Mother Teresa's. I gotta believe it's lonely. It's always felt lonely to me. It's a desperate loneliness too. It's not like there's no one to talk to.
Yeah.
My first wife was asked one day, because when I was trading commodities.
How many wives did you ask?
Monster commodity positions that would usually make most people nauseous, right? She never knew if I was up or down.
Yeah.
But because I couldn't even, it wasn't like my skill. It was like, you're going to have no idea what I'm talking about anyway. So why even share it? But I totally agree. The team, I don't look at
What do you think your greatest strength is?
Vision. Like big picture and ability to go chase it. And to move from industry to industry and not like I have to stay in commodity derivatives trading because that's what I love the ability. I've been in 4 industries now. Spent 10 years in 4 different industries, 2 continents. And it has always made me better because I'm never in my comfort zone, ever. Like the most I'm ever in my comfort zone, as soon as I get comfortable, I start getting bored. That's what happened in London. I'm like, it's a big bit, 600 people. We're doing $6 billion a year, dude, like crushing it. And I like helicopters, limos, drivers, big old house in the country, 32, 34 years old. And I was like, I'm bored, man. I figured this game out. I understand where it's headed. I need to take some time off so it doesn't control me, right?
Yeah.
Like I've always worried about being controlled by money and having to go to work every day. It seems like a horrible way to live to me. So that's what I would say is ability to.
I have to go to work every day.
Yeah, I do too. I think I'm.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go on vacation. I get bored,
love
man.
going to work every day.
Sundays drive me crazy. Sundays have always driven me crazy.
Yeah. Sundays.
Saturdays and Sundays. Hate them.
That's how I say it.
I want to go to work.
He says it the way I say it.
I want to go to work, man. I like it. It's a good game, dude. It's a good game.
Sunday
man.
or Sunday?
Oh, Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Fucking Sunday, man. Shit.
Grant, what are you building? What are you trying to do here, man? Not here, but like, when do you go, hey, you know what? I think I'm close to finishing. If there is a finish, what would it look like?
I'm going to transition again so that I'm going to leave a legacy here. And then people won't know me as the sales guy, the car guy, the marketing guy, the internet influencer guy, the real estate guy.
Yes.
I'm trying to influence stuff. I'm trying to change things. Like I want to change the banks. Banks are ripoffs. I've been disgusted since I was 10 years old the way the banks took care of my mom or took advantage of her. We're going to launch an insurance company. We just launched it actually last week. Okay, 10X Insurance, 10X Vets. We're going to offer training for every vet in this country, active and inactive. The company's already launched, 10xvets.org. We're doing our first event October 23rd or something in San Diego. and we're going to teach vets how to buy homes, how to buy duplexes, quads, and how to build a business so that when they come after they've served, they come home and they can actually take care of their families.
Right. They have a mission.
A mission, dude. They
need
need
a
a new mission, man,
Totally.
because
When you're-
otherwise,
Yeah.
man, I handle all my depression with a mission. And they did too, by the way, while they were out there.
That's right.
It's the moment they come home, they got to come work for some shit slack company with no mission, no real targets, no leadership. And they're like, shit, I'm depressed. Of course, bro. You'd be depressed. I'd be depressed there. So we're going to launch that this year. What else are we launching, Annie?
But bigger picture.
I just said 10X
But
insurance.
bigger picture, like what you know, what is your maybe
I want to
this-
be a bank. I'm going to be a bank. I'm going to turn this into a bank. It's going to be the Bank of Cardone.
okay, and
So I'm going to go. I'm going to go. Look, if I can take Cardone Capital from $10 billion or $5 billion of real estate to $50 billion, that'll make me one of the largest multifamily owners on the planet. I think I can do that. I've raised $1 billion. I raised $10 billion. Bang, I'm there. That's a tap out game. But that business right there provides enough dividend. I'm pushing out now $40 million of cash flow a month to families. That's real money.
yeah,
Now I have some influence in the system, and I'm controlling enough money. Now we could either paper out of that, become a REIT, sell to a big group, a BlackRock that might want to buy it, or we slide over and say, hey, we're going to become what you guys are right now. Once I get the trust of enough people, we have 13,000 investors. If I increase that to 130,000 investors, I get to $10 billion.
okay, so cool. But
But
some of
what
the
that
struggle
does-
in this interview, some of the struggle.
I'm telling you what it is. It's not really about the money. It's about the families, and the families need money, right? What do people need? Like, we've surveyed enough of our public today. I missed so many survey opportunities when I was starting up. Oh, they need to learn how to sell, so I'm going to teach them how to sell. That's not what they want. They want money. By the way, they don't even want to learn about money. They want money. People need money, and who's giving it to them? Apple's not giving a dividend. Ford Motor Company can't. Probably going to go out of business here in a little bit. You can't find cash flow companies in any of the tech companies, so I can't get a dividend. I don't get any interest from the banks. So I'm sitting over here as an outsider looking in saying, I'm going to create a mechanism where the average family, everyday people, ignored by JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, I'm going to distribute money to them. And I'll become a trusted source where I can start actually helping them move their money, as you know, Gary, better than I know. Okay? You have to be super wealthy in this country to ever get a shot at any institutional quality asset.
for sure.
And so we want to build that with our partners to offer that to everyday people.
So thank you. Similar question, really the same question. You're dead.
I'm dead.
You're dead. What is your
You're going to come to the memorial?
what is the message that you would like the world to remember you
Dude, the guy
by or as?
the guy helped a lot of people. Okay, the guy was a disruptor. He challenged the system. He said what he always wanted, whatever he believed, you knew it. Whether you liked him or not, he's going to tell you what he thought in that moment. I'll admit when I'm wrong. He admitted when he was wrong. He was fun. He liked to do pranks. And, he is who he is. That's what I want. And I didn't never rip anybody off. And the people didn't like me. I'll even convert those guys by then and be like, God damn. Even the people that don't like me today, that say they don't like me, nobody says I could rip them off. I didn't hurt anybody.
I think a lot of people, the people that haven't liked me, the common thread that I've seen with these people is I just think they look at me and then they look at their life and they go, dude, how'd that guy make that? I think I could have done that just if I had made that same decision. I think actually we trigger, thank you, we trigger something.
Yeah, 100%.
It's hard to make a decision, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like I make decisions better than almost anybody I know. If I'm interested in it, I will make a decision and we're so in committed, but I make the commitment first. I don't like have it all figured out,
Yeah.
but it's all in commitment. that to me is the massive difference. And I think the haters they're either not listening or they seem to be upset with themselves for not making that move, right? And they're still stuck in that 401k. And the problem is the longer you stay on the 401k, if that's not the right place for you, I think it's the right place for a lot of people. A lot of people aren't going to work to be successful.
Yeah.
They're going to work to get out of their house. Like the agenda it's literally, hey, I just want to get out, I can't stay here.
Yeah, right.
So I'm going to go do something else, but it's not your passion, right? And to me, that's about finding the platform, whether it's art, music, preaching, religion, sweeping a corner street up. Like if you do it brilliantly, you will be notified by other people. Hey, look at this cat. He does it brilliantly. Like I'm playing with art, I think actually if I just do this over and over and over and over again, I will improve. And I don't necessarily have a goal for that other than to show my own mental. 50 years, I said, no, I have no artistic capability whatsoever except to admire it.
Right.
I'm like, if I can admire it, I should be able to freaking
100%.
replicate it.
I like that.
But I just judge it so
I
hard.
wish you'd have bought me a VCR, by the way.
I thought about bringing one, but I don't have a big enough plane for some of my stuff, dude.
Oh, I did.
So I know you do. You sweep me back, and you can take one of them on the way back.
Did you see it when you were rolling in?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
How good is that? Was it in front of the American flag?
It was going into
Was
the
it in hangar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looked nice, like it had just been washed. What?
I remember
what
when I couldn't afford to wash the car.
Oh, for sure. Dude. Sometimes I still don't think what would you like to share that maybe hadn't been brought up here that nobody knows about you or your family or your struggles in creating all this? Because it all looks fun, dude. It looks like you're always on top of the world, like you're super high all the time because life's just blissful and wonderful. Yeah. And I know you well enough to know, hey, are you like me? I wake up in the morning, somebody, my guy was saying, hey, can I show up at your house and see you waking up in the morning, getting ready for work? I'm like, no, because I'm miserable. I'm miserable in the morning. Yeah. It takes me like 2 hours to get, turned on. What do people need to know about you that they don't?
No, I'm a human being, man. I'm just like everybody else, right? So I'm like, I have good days and bad days. And, my job is to make a bad day into a good day. Like, so I feel good about it because at the end of the day, man, the bad days last longer than the good days. Good days, bad days, oh shit.
They're long, aren't they?
It's miserable. When I did Undercover Billionaire, you and I have never talked about this. That was the most miserable experience of my lifetime.
Was it really?
It was the worst.
Wow.
90 days of my life. It was so painful. Now, I don't know if I exaggerated the pain, but it was traumatic.
Did you learn anything from it?
Oh, yeah.
Would you do it again?
No.
So you didn't learn enough from it?
Nobody should do that.
That's hilarious.
But I knew when I did it, first of all, they ruined the whole thing. That's part of the bittersweet. I mean, I killed it.
So it was not a good...
I killed it, crushed it, dude. Like the first 5 days I was there, they were like, hey, man, if you go at this rate, we don't have a TV show. And I'm like, what are you talking about, man? I'm fucking killing it. I'm set up to pick up 10 grand this week.
You going too fast?
They said, dude, like...
Slow down.
This is going too good. I said, what do you mean? Within 24 hours of arriving in Pueblo, I had a place to sleep. None of this is produced, by the way. None of it. Like, it's all me just shuffling, shucking, and jiving, man. I mean, like, I've never done so good, so fast. I'm not using my name. I have no money. I have this old truck, and
you can't use your name at all. So nobody.
I cannot use my name, Grant Cardone. I shaved my head. I'm Louis Curtis, dude. You hadn't seen the show?
No.
We got to get him the link, man. I'm Louis Curtis, bro. I can't be Curtis Lewis because if you search Curtis Lewis, you're going to see Grant Cardone's name come up as son of Curtis Lewis Cardone.
Yeah.
And so I have a RV I'm sleeping in, $45,000. I end up within 3 days driving a $50,000 truck. I figured out how to get a brand new truck to drive. Got rid of Discovery's shit truck that pissed them off. They're like, bro, we want to see you in the shit truck. I said, fuck the shit truck. I'm going to sell the shit truck. You can't do that. Every day I was fighting with these people because they had an idea how they wanted this show to look. And I'm like, I don't have to do it like that. I don't have to suffer. And this is really the thing I want to like if I'm going to get known for one thing, it's like, and I was hoping this show was going to do that. I did this to show people you don't need a name, you don't need money, you just need a commitment. And so, but they didn't like, I wanted to play it during COVID. COVID happened 10 days after I got there,
Right.
and they shut the show down. I'm like, no, this is when I need to do the show. I need to do the show during COVID so people can see it.
That would have been monster.
Anyway, they're fucking cowards.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how I got on that, but, is every day good? No, most days are not good, you know?
Most days are not good.
Most days are not good. They
Like
start
what does
out
that
not
look
good.
like? What does that look like though? Not good.
Ah, God, I rate my days, right? I come home.
do
How
you?
was your day? Yeah, 6. You know, I'm like, can I get it up a couple points before the end of the day? I can't get it to a 10. There ain't no way. So, being
You have very few 10 days?
very few. Very few. I don't even know if I've ever had a 10-day.
It's hilarious because I think everybody thinks we have great
I
10
had a 10
days
day.
every day, dude.
I had a 10-day. The day you were at Mandalay Bay with me at the 10X Growth Conference, this is 2019, that was a 10-day. That was the perfect event. That was the best event I've ever been in.
Really?
The
That was
single.
the one I spoke at, right?
No,
You were
this is the one. No, this is the one that Sabrina spoke at. You were up in the. You had a suite.
Okay,
And
yeah.
you remember Sabrina was 10 years old and she's coming down there. No. Throw that in there, okay?
That was Kevin Hart's.
Kevin Hart was there.
yeah.
It was
Yeah,
right
that was a
before,
good-
and
that
I
was
was
a great
leaving to
show.
go to to go to Pueblo to shoot
Yeah.
the Undercover Billionaire.
Right.
I'd shaved my head that day. That was the single, probably best day of my life. And I mean, it had nothing to do with money.
Are you going to keep doing the
event was
10X? Is the
perfect.
10X
We're gonna
stadium deal?
We're probably toward the end of that.
Or you
Yeah.
just can't get bigger, or people are just kind of flatlined on it?
Yeah, we've no, people want to do it.
It's one of the
We
it's
want-
one of the greatest, what I call
It's an entertainment. It's entertainment.
rock and roll,
Business.
educational, motivational, get around 30,000 people, the best community event I've ever been to in my life. And I went to 86 trade shows one year as a in the credit card industry. These companies have massive amounts of dollars to make this work. This was really, I would encourage anybody to go to
This
it.
is the
This
best-
is not a pump, okay? It's just the best
single best
investment.
event done in the world
I actually
for
agree with
business, because you don't know whether you're at a business conference or a rock concert or you're an artist. The goal of that was to blur the line between art
Right.
and business.
Yeah, I think
Which I think every business person actually needs to be an artist, and artists need to learn how to be business people. Man, this has been great today. We should do this again.
Yeah, love to do that, buddy.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah. Love you, bro.
I love you,
and I'm
bro.
really proud of you, man.
Love you. I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah, thank you, man.